Good morning, everybody. MG here, MGCovers, brand new video. We are going to preview tonight's national championship between Alabama and Ohio State. I know everybody's super excited to watch that game, myself included. I'm going to give you my line for that game, probably more than likely my pick for that game, as well as we're going to break the game down and look at it from a statistical and sports betting perspective. Before we do that, as always, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel. Greatly appreciate everybody that's subscribed here. We continue to have a lot of growth on the channel. If you want to follow me on all of these social media outlets, I am MGCovers, covered spelled with a Z. If you follow me on Instagram, I put out a ton of content on my storyline, so just following me will bring you a lot of value. All right, with that being said, we're going to get into that. Let's look at one quick thing. We're going to review football season is pretty much a wrap. What you're seeing is a screenshot from my monitoring service, sportswatchmonitor.com. If you don't know what a monitoring service is, we have to send them our plays so that the general public can actually, verify that, this is the team that we're playing. It's a way to verify and confirm the plays that I'm making. Currently finishing up, depending on the play tonight, we finished 11th out of 76 professional handicappers at Sports Watch Monitor. You can see there, this is really interesting. 8.5 units. They use $1,000 a dime as one unit. Finished combined NFL and college 49 and 54, 47%. And I know what you're saying. It's a losing record. How do you do that? We play a lot of money line dogs. And if you follow me here in the last probably month and a half, that's sort of been my theme. One of the secrets in sports betting is playing money line dogs. If you play strictly spread sports, in order to break even, not turn a profit, in order to break even, you got to hit about 53%. Very, 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 very difficult to do. More difficult than most people realize. So the way I teach it, incorporate a lot of money line dogs, and you can be even less than 50%, as you can see, still turn a nice profit. And what's interesting when you look at that, that 36.72, that's our yield. We turned 36% yield. That's almost probably triple what people make in the stock market in a typical year. So in essence, we risked 23 grand, ended up making 8,500. That number is actually a little bit higher. We had teasers. We won about 4 or 5 units, I think, with my teaser plays. I can't put my teasers on my monitoring service. So really good NFL year. And then we've started out basketball season really, really well as well. This is NBA and college basketball combined. We're currently 7th out of 61 professional handicappers. $4,700, 52 and 41, 55.9% total risk. You see there at 30,000 with a 15% yield. And we don't risk full units. The way I teach, one of the ways that I teach is that if I have 3 plays, I don't risk 3 full units. If I have 3 plays, I would risk a third unit on each. So if we wagered full units, that number you see there would be considerably higher, but the reason we do that is to lower our risk. So having a really good start to basketball. All right, let's dive right into this college football preview. I'm going to show you this. This is our record from my stat model for bowl games this year. 14 and 4. This is from a client that sent this to me. He played all the games that had value and had several situational angles in our favor. So for bowl games, 14 and 4. That is extremely, I think that's right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, or maybe 13 and 3. Really impressive record. And the line that I'm going to give you for this game comes straight from my stat model. The reason that's important to have a stat model, if you're watching this video, if you're watching my channel for the first time, the majority of the sports betting lines, odds makers set lines based on biases. They have to set a line based on how the public perceives a team. If the majority of people think Alabama is the better team, that side will be inflated, or what the sports books refer to, or the sports betting community refers to as shaded. And so therefore, if that line is shaded, where's the value? The value is on the other side. You'll see most of your popular teams, those lines will be shaded. For example, the Lakers. It's hard to make a profit playing the Lakers simply because they're a very popular team. A lot of people like to bet on the Lakers, so therefore sports books know this. They will inflate that line. So where was the value? The value would be on the other side. So the stat model that we have for college football is very legit. Let's look at this Alabama-Ohio State. We actually had Ohio State blowing out Clemson in our power rankings, and one of the ways that we're able to do that with is playing really good run defense and also rushing the ball. Now you can look here. Alabama's averaging 495 yards total offense. Ohio State defense has given up 344 yards of total offense. That 181. Alabama's averaging rushing 181 yards. Now, what I did was, this is straight from my model. I only use stats from the last 3 games. So for Alabama, I think that's going to include the game against Notre Dame, Florida, and one other team. So 181 yards rushing for Alabama. Now, we hear so much about Alabama's defense, but let me tell you, Ohio State has a great defense. Clemson found that out, and you can see there where it says 76 yards. Ohio State is holding opponents' last 3 games to just 76 yards rushing. Very, 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 very good defense there for Ohio State. Now let's look and sort of flip things here. Ohio State averaging 557 yards of offense. Alabama giving up 341 yards of offense. Now this is an insane figure. Rushing yards for Ohio State last 3 games, 325 yards rushing. They almost rushed for, I think it was 275 against Clemson. They almost rushed for 300 yards rushing against Clemson. You could see Alabama's defense not quite as good statistically as Ohio State, but close, only giving up less than 91 yards rushing. You see that 183%. That means they are better than, as compared to the average, 183% better. Now, I'm going to talk briefly why rushing yards is so important, and it's part of my model for NFL, and it's part of my model for college football. And most people say, well, why wouldn't you include, some of these other stats like passing yards, which is, quote, a sexy stat. The reason rushing yards correlates to winning is several reasons. If you can run the ball, it opens up so many more opportunities. And let's talk through some examples. Let's say you open up on a first down play, you get 8 yards rushing. So now you have 2nd and 2. What is the beautiful thing about 2nd down and 2? You can throw the ball deep, and then you would still have a short conversion on 3rd down. So that puts a ton of stress on the defense on 2nd and 2. Are they going to run it? They're going to rush it. Right? And conversely, if you can't run the ball, let's say you struggle to run the ball on 1st down, maybe you lose 2 yards on 2nd down, now you have 3rd and 12. What happens on 3rd and 12? Defense can put pressure on the quarterback. They can blitz. They can play some zone coverage. And when what happens on a blitz, sometimes a quarterback gets sacked. What happens when a defensive player sacks a quarterback? Sometimes they do what? Sometimes they fumble. If the defense is putting pressure on the quarterback, that can affect the throw, and that creates turnovers. And then, so it all comes back to rushing yards. It's very important. Most of the general public do not realize this. And another ancillary benefit from rushing yards is if you can rush the ball really well, you can chew that clock up. Now, and on the flip side on defense, if you can stop the team, if you have a really good rush defense, the team can't run the ball, they're getting off the field and giving your team an opportunity to possess the ball. So I'm telling you, Ohio State can run the ball, and that really, it's going to come down to that, I think. And I think these games are way closer than the line actually is showing. Let's pull up the line. I have a couple things to look at here. Okay. I'm recording this about 10:30 a.m. on the day of the national championship. Of course, both teams undefeated. Sugar House, what this is from oddstrader.com. The highest line for Ohio State right now is +9. Looks like most of the books are at Alabama -8.5. And on this one is showing currently Ohio State getting about 53% of the tickets, Alabama getting 47% of the tickets. So that's a pretty big line. I think there is some bias factored in that line in favor of Alabama. I'm going to show you one other line. Let's look at the money line. Now, this is very interesting here. Ohio State is plus 260, Alabama minus 303. The reason that's important, and this kind of ties into what I teach about money line, is if you take that 260, I often get asked, how do I know when to play a money line over a spread? Well, if you look at what we need to do is convert that 260 into a win percentage, and you can Google, or you could. I was going to say send me an email, but I may or may not return that email. Or you can send me an email. I'll send you the link for it. Or you can just Google money line conversion, sports betting, something like that. It'll pull up. So plus 260 converts into a 27% chance of winning. So you ask yourself, does Ohio State have more than a 27% chance of winning? Hell yeah. I would say it's probably leaning at least 50%. And the way that I teach money line, when to play on the money line, if a team has at least a 50% chance of winning, and you can see statistically that they do, and I'm going to show you my line here in a second. If they have at least a 50% chance of winning and they have several situational angles in their favor, then it's definitely a good play. The reason being is if you played, let's say these two teams played 10 times. This is a hypothetical. How many times do you think Ohio State would win? Well, if they would win at least, they would only need to win, 3 or 4 times to turn a profit based on that 260, okay? So definitely something to consider in this game. I haven't officially made a wager, but it looks like I'm definitely leaning towards Ohio State. With that being said, here is my line. If you take the way that I convert this line via the model, converts into Ohio State minus 7. Ohio State is getting 8 points, 8.5 points. So you're looking at, someone's getting ready to fall down. Sorry about that. You're looking at about hang on, my bad. You're looking at about, 15-point differential there, which is huge in favor of Ohio State. I think that's where the value is. Haven't officially placed a wager, but what I am going to do is watch and see where that line goes. It could go, you could get some money coming in on Alabama. That's kind of my prediction where I think is going to what I think is going to happen. I'm thinking you're going to get a lot more money coming in on Alabama. Could be wrong. I doubt this line would go to 9. Probably going to stay somewhere. I don't think definitely wouldn't go to 7. But again, who knows? Some of those things are very difficult to predict. So definitely leaning on Ohio State, and probably will end up playing Ohio State either on the money line to win outright, or either on the spread line. And we'll remind you, last year my model had LSU minus 10, and it was a blowout in favor of LSU. All right, so hopefully that gives you some value. I'm going to cover briefly about if you want to become a client. It's $29.95 per month. I thought about having a price increase this year, but I'm not. That gives you access to all of my models for all sports, the same exact models I use to handicap games. You get access to that for $29.95 per month. You get access to all of my coaching videos on the site, and we upload content only available to coaching clients probably about once a week, sometimes twice a week. And of course, you get unlimited email support from me. That's $29.95 per month. Now, if you want the coaching program as well as all of my plays, that's $49.95 per month. So you get everything I just mentioned in addition to all my plays, and I send those out Telegram via an app, so you get access to those immediately. Right now we're handicapping NBA, college basketball, and of course, just around the corner we have NHL. It's going to start up here. Our stat model will probably be available somewhere around February, and of course, Major League Baseball. Now, also too, before I go, I want to show you some client testimonials. This is the client that I got he played all of these college football games. This was actually his spreadsheet he sent me. Cut that off. He said college football model has been absolutely killing it in the bowl games. You can see my comment there. Yes, sir. Sorry about this thing here. My bad, y'all. My bad. Another testimonial here. Having your picks, power rankings, best decision ever. Up another 3 units today. I did a parlay on the 2 college games and cash big. And of course, I responded to him there. Another testimonial here. Yeah, this has been my first year of wagering, and I was like those people seeing big money line dogs and would stay away. But as this year has gone, I've seen where the public and the favorite isn't always right. And the way you teach it, I absolutely love it and agree completely. You've turned my year round into past month. And let's look at one more testimony before we go. I just want to say your model is unreal, very legit, and everything I've learned. Thank you. Hoping to hit this Mavs money line, and we actually did hit that. I think it was like plus 160. So anyway, and if you want to join, there's a link in the description box for that. One change: if you want to join for the full year, that's $249. If you added up the $50 a month, that would be $600 for the entire year. That price is slashed more than half, $249 for the entire year. That gives you access to everything: coaching, power rankings, and all my plays. Now, I am going to increase that price on January 15th. So you got like 4 days to join. You're going to save about $50 there. Again, $249 now, but that will go to $299. I think that's on Friday. So anyway, hey, go Buckeyes tonight. It's going to be a fun game. I do believe they'll cover, possibly even win that match. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and talk to you guys on the next one. Peace.